It is November 11th, 2008. After the insane amount of fun you had with your friends on Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, you're excited to jump into the second entry to the series developed by REUPLOAD Studios. You load the game up and you decide to jump right into the campaign. After a gripping, dark, action-packed adventure, you watch as Reznov slices the Nazi flag from its podium and cheer for Russia's freedom. But shortly after, you're greeted by the following cutscene. After you realize you're not hallucinating, you have to fight for your life in a cramped bunker against terrifying undead Nazi forces. Chances are you didn't make it that far. That right there was many people's introduction to the chaotic ride of Call of Duty Zombies. Hey, what's up everyone? Game Master, otherwise simply known as Sly here, and today we are going on a long walk through memory lane. Over my 13 years of playing video games, very few have stuck with me like Call of Duty Zombies has. Sure, I have an undying and undoubtedly unhealthy obsession of Sly Cooper, Resident Evil, and Sonic, but despite how amazing those series are respectively, the effect Call of Duty Zombies as a mode has had on my life is irreplaceable. So I decided to go back and review every single Call of Duty Zombies map, mostly. And before any of you accuse me of ripping off the Smith Plays, there's an old video on my main channel of me starting a Zombies retrospective, and as you can see, I've been doing this for a while now. Seriously, I've reviewed Nacht Der Untoten like 2 times by now. And also, while I love Patrick, neither him nor me invented the idea of a retrospective. Also, for the first several videos in the retrospective, you're going to be seeing Zombie Chronicles footage. But the version of Nacht I will be talking about is the World at War version. I have a working Xbox 360 along with a copy of World at War, here's proof, and that is what I revisited to get a refresh of the map. Unfortunately, I don't have an emulator, a PC, or a capture card, none of that fancy stuff, so we're stuck with 720p Zombie Chronicles footage for the most part. With that said, let's actually start talking about the map we're reviewing today. Nacht Der Untoten, German for Night of the Living Dead. Now, most people in the zombies community are aware that zombies as we know it was never supposed to be as big as it is today. In fact, it almost never got made. A few passionate devs at REUPLOAD came up with the idea for the mode, but everyone else wasn't too fond of the idea, which is actually understandable. This game was shaping up to be a gritty, historically accurate World War II shooter. Throwing zombies in there was kinda questionable. Plus, this was a 2-year development cycle, so most people thought the manpower that would go into a zombies mode would be better spent on the campaign or multiplayer. The passionate devs miraculously got approval to have it be a cool little hidden reward for beating the campaign, and after a few builds, people at the studio was very pleased with how it was coming out. In fact, this may be a rumor, but apparently people from Infinity Ward were coming over to REUPLOAD Studios just to play the build. Eventually, the game released, and along with it, the first ever zombies map, Nacht Der Untoten. World at War has always had my favorite atmosphere of any Call of Duty game, and that sentiment is not lost on Nacht. Going back, I actually came to the realization that this map is easily my scariest zombies map. Say what you want about the hellish Alcatraz and mob, but you have the acid gat in your hands and you also are cracked on weaponry and perks. Say what you want about the terrifying asylum in Verrückt, but at least you have perks and traps. With Nacht Der Untoten, the phrase less is more could not be overstated. The building you are residing in for safety doesn't have any type of personality whatsoever. The atmosphere doesn't focus on where you're at, but rather what's lurking outside of your safe zone. You don't have pack-a-punch, perks, or any traps of any kind. You have whatever weapon the mystery box decides to give you. The reason I love Nacht so much is because of its huge emphasis on basic survival. In later maps, it's mainly about exploration, rewarding quests, or both, but not here. You have to rely on your wits and primitive weaponry if you want so much as a prayer to make it into the high rounds. Not only does it add a fair amount of unforgiving difficulty, but the way the community reacts to this map regarding strategies is one of my favorite parts about it. There isn't a clear meta like the Kino stage or the Origins camping spot. Figuring out a way to last a good while is much more tricky, so a lot of people have different strategies. Whether it's to camp upstairs, attempt to train in the spawn area, or box room, or a combination of the two, so many people play this map in a different way. Also, who could forget the many fun theories the community contributed, such as a zombie Hitler boss fight around 50. Treyarch was ambitious during the development of this mode. Not insane. Also, regarding story, while Treyarch would go on to conjure up some sort of explanation on how Nacht fits into the ridiculously giant puzzle that is their story, at the time there simply was no story. Nacht was supposed to be a one-time thing, so the devs didn't really have any plans regarding a story. In all honesty, that kinda makes the map even creepier. It makes you ask so many questions in your head. How did these soldiers get in this situation? What took down our plane? What is the state of the rest of the world? Is this just an isolated event? You simply don't know. All you know for certain is you're screwed if you don't fight back against these undead monstrosities. Also, I know we're all used to the zombies formula by now, but back then, this entire mode and the way it functioned was brand new, so it's at least worth noting. One thing that led to Call of Duty Zombies' success was its archaic roots. The round-based system, power-ups, concept for the mystery box, the legendary ray gun, which was a dream to get, all of this was simple and easy to understand, so a lot of people got hooked instantly off of this basic format. And the fact this came out during the Zombies Renaissance paid off beautifully in the end. So with all of that said, how did Nacht do in the long run? Well, a lot of people unexpectedly fell in love with the mode, and this would lead to something much bigger. But for now, I'll leave the story there. Nowadays, the community likes to pick on Nacht for not having a lot of the advances in the series feature maps would introduce, but I think people are looking at it the wrong way. People should appreciate it for not only paving the way for the rest of the series, but also what it was at the time. It's still fun to revisit Nacht and truly test my skills as a zombie player, and I am still very fond of this map. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I will see you guys next Monday with Verupt. Peace out.